Assalamu alaikum, dear students. In this session, we will talk about how to search the literature and different databases. तो हम databases के बारे में बात करेंगे और यहाँ पर मुख्तलिफ सर्च स्ट्रेटजी किस तरह बनाते हैं एंड आर नॉट बूलियन ऑपरेटर्स और बाकी से उस पर बात करेंगे। नेक्स्ट सेशन में चलो हम प्रैक्टिकल सेशन लेंगे कि हम पबमेड पर एंड गूगल स्कॉलर पर जो है अब दोनों पर किस तरह जो है हम सर्च कर सकते हैं। तो हम प्रैक्टिकली जो है वो आपको वहाँ पे सेशन दिखाएंगे। So the collection of journal articles, books, book chapters, concept papers, dissertations, essays, and opinion papers published to assist clinicians, researchers, and aspiring professionals in developing nursing qualifications, all that is called as literature. Dissertation से मुराद जो है thesis है, conference paper से मुराद usually सिर्फ abstract जो है वहाँ पर publish होते हैं, उनकी publication आ जाती है conference, तो usually mostly they are abstracts. किसी बुक का चैप्टर है उसको भी हम लिटरेचर कह सकते हैं, बुक के कंप्लीट बुक है या आर्टिकल है, तो इन सबको हम लिटरेचर कहेंगे। लिटरेचर जो है ये on the basis of it, if it is published or not published, it is of two types known as the white literature and the grey literature. The white literature होता है, this is the literature which is being published, the research study, the articles which is being published in any journal, research journal, that would be taught as the white literature, and the research work or the research articles, manuscript, which still are in the progress towards the publication. They're still they are not progress of publication. They are still in the only in the laptops or in the hard drive. So that would be called as the gray literature. Or they are in the hard form, printed form में है, pieces हैं, article हैं, किसी लाइब्रेरी में पड़ी है या किसी ऐसे वेबसाइट पर ब्लॉग पर अवेलेबल है जो कोई खास जर्नल नहीं है, न कोई डेटाबेस है, सो उसको भी हम कहेंगे ग्रे लिटरेचर। तो ज़रूरी नहीं है कि ये ऑनलाइन ना हो तो उसको ग्रे लिटरेचर बोलने के, ऑनलाइन हो सकती है लेकिन वो किसी जर्नल में पब्लिश नहीं है, तो दैट इज कॉल्ड एज द ग्रे लिटरेचर, द पब्लिश्ड वन इज कॉल्ड एज द वाइट लिटरेचर। Literature जो है and broadly divided into two types, that is the primary sources and the basis of source, and the other is known as the secondary source. And the basis of publication, as we discussed, that is the wild literature and grey literature, and the basis of source, that is known as the primary sources literature and the secondary sources literature. The primary sources are those in which authors provide the original report of research they have conducted, and अमूमन ऐसे रिसर्च के टॉप पर लिखा होता है कि ओरिजिनल रिसर्च, ओरिजिनल आर्टिकल। और इसके अब बनस्बत जो सेकेंडरी रिसर्च सोर्सेज है, सेकेंडरी सोर्सेज से मतलब मुराद वो इंफॉर्मेशन है जो दूसरे अतर जो है ये रिसर्च को एक तीसरा अतर जो है ये समराइज करते हैं या अपने काम को दूसरों के काम के साथ मिला के फिर समराइज करके इसको पब्लिश करते हैं, तो दैट इज अगेन अ सेकेंडरी सोर्सेज। सेकेंडरी सोर्सेज में उसमें बुक्स आते हैं, बुक चैप्टर्स आते हैं, जनरल आर्टिकल्स दैट रिव्यू द लिटरेचर, एडिटोरियल एंड ओपिनियन पेपर। Secondary sources, they are useful because they organize the literature for the reader and provide a ready list of primary sources on the topic of interest. Meta-analysis and the critical reviews, these are the hybrid of the primary and secondary literature. Meta-analysis, they are the top quality researches in which the results from a number of studies, different studies on the same topic and the same problem, with the specific inclusion criteria when the study are selected. The combination, the combining all the statistical, all results of that study through a statistical software and through statistical test, the and single report is then extracted and then reported in the paper. That is called as the meta-analysis. The types of literature, the basis of sources, primary literature, secondary literature, and the tertiary literature. The tertiary literature से मुराद meta-analysis and systematic reviews है, and secondary literature से मुराद books है, book chapters है, journal article that review the literature and review it. And the primary literature से मुराद journal article describing original research, thesis and dissertation, conference abstracts and the proceedings. अब यहाँ पे primary literature, if it is published, it will be called as the, इन तमाम में जो, if it is the primary source, secondary source or the tertiary source, इन तमाम के तमाम में जो publish हो जाते हैं, they will be called as the wide literature, and if they are not published, they will be called as the gray literature. अब हम लिटरेचर को किस तरह फाइंड करेंगे, किस तरह इसको हम सर्च करेंगे, तो ऑब्वियसली हम इसके डेटाबेस यूज करेंगे, वेब बेस्ड डेटाबेस यूज कर सकते हैं। इसके अलावा हम लाइब्रेरी में भी जो है जा सकते हैं। एंड अगर हम ग्रे लिटरेचर जो है उसको भी शामिल करना चाहते हैं तो फिर मुख्तलिफ वेबसाइट से, जैसे OpenGrad.com है, या अगर हम थीसिस से भी डेटा लेना चाहते हैं, थीसिस के लिए बेस्ट वेबसाइट जो है फोकस्ड है, तो इसी तरह जो है मुख्तलिफ डिफरेंट सोर्सेज होते हैं जहाँ से हमें जो है आर्टिकल्स और रिसर्चेस मिल सकती हैं। दे आर इन द वाइड लिटरेचर और ग्रे लिटरेचर। अगर हम सिर्फ सर्च करना चाहते हैं वर्ड लिटरेचर को, तो वर्ड लिटरेचर के लिए particularly we have search electronic sources, and they are the web-based databases, and they do not present the holding of a particular library or the consortium of libraries. Many databases have several common features. फिर वहाँ पे जो है सर्च फील्ड्स हमारे क्या होंगे, so they are the categories that help limit your search to related items, and they help us in, they save us the time. They save us the resources for us, and the most commonly used is that of the keywords. And if we have the keyword, so we can easily find out the relevant researches and the relevant literature. So words that relate specifically to a topic of interest and sometimes to the method of study, they are known as the keyword. Boolean operations, these operations that form a set of ways to either limit or expand such as all databases use. अगर हमें बहुत कम आर्टिकल्स मिल रहे हैं एंड वी वांट टू हैव मोर एंड मोर आर्टिकल्स इन द सर्च, तो भी हम बूलियन ऑपरेशन को यूज कर सकते हैं। या इनिशियली वी हैव अ वेरी ह्यूज अमाउंट ऑफ लिटरेचर इन द सर्च, वी हैव इन मिलियंस, तो अगर हम इसको कम करना चाहते हैं, रिस्ट्रिक्ट करना चाहते हैं, लिमिट करना चाहते हैं, तो भी हम बूलियन ऑपरेशन यूज करेंगे। नाउ यहाँ पे यू शुड वेरी क्लियर दैट विच बूलियन ऑपरेटर्स दे आर यूज्ड टू expand our searches and which Boolean operator that used to limit our searches. So the operation AND that will limit a search because the search engine needs find two terms that appear together. The operation R will expand a search because the search engine can produce either of two or any of three terms, and the NOT operator may also limit a search by not including a specific term. So it means the and the NOT, they both are limiting our searches, and the R will expand the search. This is the example of the Boolean operator. Suppose as researchers, we are searching for the relevant articles in which study is being conducted on the at continuous passive motion and the patient with the total knee arthroplasty. But the patient, they shouldn't have the rheumatoid arthritis, they shouldn't be a rheumatoid arthritis. So we are reading any studies in which there is CPM is used on the TKN. So this is the area which we are going to search, but we are excluding, we don't need any studies in which the patient are with rheumatoid arthritis. So it means this area will be eliminated, and hence this is the area which will give us the most relevant article. But now this is the area, that will give us the searches in which the continuous passive motion has been used on the patient with total knee arthroplasty, and that don't have the rheumatoid arthritis. So it means that we have used the and not, and because of the and not, we have limit our search. So obviously we have the most relevant literature now. Now we will take an example of the spinal cord and the searching on the PubMed. So searching for the spinal cord injury and continuous passive motion with no other limit, just using the and between these them, just yielded 3 results in the PubMed. Yani, and continuous passive motion when used in the spinal cord injury, just only 3 studies we met. So it means they have restricted so much just to 3 studies. But in the same term, the spinal cord injury and the continuous passive motion, if they are combined with that, which means we need the studies in which based on spinal cord injury or in which there is continuous or in which both have used. तो हमें इस रिसर्च में ऐसी स्टडी मिलेंगे जो सिर्फ स्पाइनल कॉर्ड इंजरी पर है, या उस पर कंटिन्यू पेसिव मोशन पर है, या दोनों उसमें है, तीनों टाइप के स्टडीज हमें मिल जाएंगी. सो व्हाट इज द टोटल नंबर देन? 32,988. So look at the number, only three there, and we have 32,998. Then इसी को हम स्पाइनल कार्ड इंजरी एंड कंटिन्यूस पेशिव मोशन को हम नॉट से करें कि हमें स्पाइनल कार्ड इंजरी चाहिए, लेकिन ऐसी चाहिए जिसमें से कंटिन्यू पेशिव मोशन शामिल हो और नहीं चाहिए, या हमें सिंपल कंटिन्यू पेशिव मोशन की नहीं चाहिए. तो then the result is 32. It means much of the literature is available on the spinal cord injury, and very less literature is then available on the CPM, the continuous passive motion. Similarly, if searching on the both terms and the permanent continuous passive motion spinal cord, if they are added with the knot, यानी पहले हम CPM करिए, और CPM तो ऐसे CPM चाहिए जिसमें अगर स्पाइनल cord injury उस पर ओ CPM मुझे नहीं चाहिए, मुझे सिर्फ CPM चाहिए, तो सिर्फ CPM के सिर्फ आ जाएंगे 581. और यही 581 जो है, इसके साथ अगर आपकी 404 ऐड करें, तो ऑब्वियसली इट विल गिव सेम almost 32,988. So this is the screenshot of at that time which the search taken. अब यहाँ पे चूंकि ये पहले की स्टडी की है, that's why अब बहुत सारी स्टडीज शामिल होंगी लिटरेचर में, तो शायद ये नंबर अलग अलग आ रहा हो, लेकिन रिपोर्ट वही होगा. तो ये जब हमने स्पाइनल कार्ड जो कंटिन्यू पेशियों को आर से कनेक्ट कर दिया, तो ये रिजल्ट आ रही थी 32,988 पबमेड पर. और अगर इन स्टडीज में से हमने एंड से जब कनेक्ट कर दिया, सिर्फ 3 स्टडीज आ रहे थे, द इफेक्ट ऑफ कंटिन्यू पेशिव मोशन in the human with chronic spinal cord injury, decrease the opportunity after continuous pressure motion treatment and with spinal cord injury, and assessment of spasticity using isokinetic data in patient with spinal cord injury. In study, they have also used the continuous pressure motion. So these are only 3 studies in which both are present. So again, it has been limit our search. And when these were combined with the not the spinal cord injury in the continuous passive motion, so the results were 32,404. And the same in they are just continuous passive motion, so we have only 584. And continuous passive motion not spinal cord injury, it means it give us 581. तो अगर 581 में ये आ रही है, और इसके साथ वो स्पाइनल कार्ड इंजरी में 3 स्टडीज जब हमने स्टार्ट में की थी, स्पाइनल कार्ड इंजरी एंड कंटिन्यू, तो वो 3 स्टडीज थी. तो इन 3 मतलब ऐसे हैं कि जो 584 स्टडीज आ रही हैं, इनमें से 3 स्टडीज ऐसे हैं जिनमें कंटिन्यू पेसिव मोशन स्पाइनल कार्ड इंजरी में यूज हो गई है, और बाकी जो 581 स्टडी है इसमें स्पाइनल कार्ड इंजरी नहीं है. इट मीन कंटिन्यू पेसिव मोशन फिर भी कुछ ना कुछ लिटरेचर अवेलेबल है, more than that 584 studies. They can simply, if it is in the spinal cord injury, so only 3 studies they are available. सर्च जो है हम किस तरह लिमिट कर सकते हैं? तो सर्च कैन बी लिमिटेड यूजिंग वन और मोर पैरामीटर्स, एंड दीज लिमिट्स आर फाउंड इन द एडवांस सर्च सेक्शन ऑफ द डेटाबेस. Publication date or a time span of publication, which is useful because often only the most recent sources they are sought. Language can be limited to English or one of the several other languages, and limiting result by article type and PubMed, which articles we want, उससे भी जो है हम इसको लिमिट कर सकते हैं. So only the clinical trials and the continued passive motion not spinal cord injury, अगर हम वहाँ पे क्लिक करें तो ये जो है हमें CPM जो है क्लिनिकल ट्रायल पे सिर्फ 112 स्टडीज दे रहे हैं. आर्टिकल जब हमने यहाँ पे इन आर्टिकल तो फिर यहाँ पे अगर आप देखें तो यहाँ पे 521 स्टडीज आ रही थी, यानी CPM नट स्पाइनल कार्ड इंजरी ये स्टडीज आ रही थी 581. लेकिन जब हम क्लिनिकल ट्रायल पे कर दिया तो ये सिर्फ 112 पे आ गई. तो इसलिए ये रेंडमाइज कंट्रोल ट्रायल है जिन्होंने CPM को यूज की. ये देख सकते हैं, इट इज रेंडमाइज कंट्रोल ट्रायल CPM, and this is the efficacy, and this is also a randomized control trial. Both the clinical trials and review articles and continuous passive motion, but next one occurring is then that they will give us the 216. It means ये जो उसमें से clinical trial और review सिर्फ अगर हम कर लें तो ये हो जाएंगे 216. इसका मतलब ये है कि यहाँ पे 112 के बाद जो 216 है और 104 जो है ये सिर्फ जो है ये रिव्यू आर्टिकल्स हैं, और 110 जो है ये डिवाइस कंट्रोल ट्रायल। ये सिर्फ हम बात कर रहे हैं एक डेटाबेस की, ये परमिट की हम बात करते हैं। इस तरह हम बहुत सारे और डेटाबेस भी देखें, शायद शायद हो सकता है कि कंटिन्यू पेसिव मोशन जो है ये सपोज पेड्रो है या कोई ऐसी और डेटाबेस है जिस पर ये शायद उसके आर्टिकल ज्यादा मिलेंगे। इसलिए जब हम सर्च करते हैं, सो हमारी सर्च दैट शुडंट बी इन अ सिंगल डेटाबेस, एटलीस्ट वी हैव टू बी सर्च हमारी होनी चाहिए एटलीस्ट 3 डेटाबेसेस पर होनी चाहिए। एंड विच डेटाबेसेस इट शुड बी डिसाइडेड ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द टॉपिक जो हमने सर्च करनी है, डेटाबेस की कौन सा डेटाबेस हमारे सर्च कीवर्ड के साथ जो है या टाइटल के साथ जो रिलेवेंट हो। Both clinical trial and review articles and continuous patient was not spinal cord injury, so we have discussed in 216 थे। अब some common databases पर बात करें कि कौन कौन से databases जो हैं ये हम यूज कर सकते हैं इन rehab sciences। सबसे पहले जो है PubMed या Medline। अब दोनों में डिफरेंस क्या है? PubMed जो है बेसिकली ये एक सर्च इंजन है। अगर सही मानों में देखा जाए तो ये एक सर्च इंजन है, और ये उस पर बहुत सारे डेटाबेसेस अवेलेबल है। इट मीन इट इज अ कलेक्शन ऑफ डेटाबेस, इट इज डेटाबेस ऑफ डेटाबेसेस, और उनमें एक डेटाबेस चाहिए मेडलाइन है। सो मेडलाइन इज जस्ट अ पार्ट ऑफ द पबमेड। मेडलाइन में सिर्फ जो मेश टर्मिनोलॉजी यूज जिन्होंने की है वही उसमें शामिल होते हैं। जैसे इसमें एक डेटाबेस जो है वो ये होता है पीएमसी, जिसमें सिर्फ फ्री आर्टिकल जिसमें कोई पेमेंट नहीं है, दे फुल टेक्स्ट अवेलेबल है, तो उसको आर्टिकल शामिल होंगे, तो दैट विल बी इन द पबमेड यानी पबमेड सेंट्रल। इस तरह जेनेटिक से प्रोटीन या मुख्तलिफ किस्म की जो है इसमें डेटाबेस अवेलेबल इन द पबमेड। The U.S. National Library of Medicine maintains a database of medically related information called the Medline and makes it available electronically as the database PubMed. The entries in the databases are indexed according to the medical subject heading mesh of the National Library of Medicine. It is available at the www.ncba.nlm.nih. NCBA जो है this is National Center for the Biotechnology Innovation. NLM means this is the National Library of Medicine, and the NIH means that is the National Institute of Health, and that is government. So it is इन तीन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो है कंबाइन इसको रन करते हैं, मैनेज करते हैं, and this is in the United States. PubMed is probably the first database researchers will want for a medical related subject, and that's for any topic and health related. In there is a search strategy, so the PubMed almost in almost cases where PubMed is there, such as the effects of various drugs. Although exceptionally complete PubMed can be daunting to use, however, the site itself has various tutorials as well as a frequent ask questions to it. Embase, it is another database for the medical topics, health related topic. And this is the proprietary databases that combine Medline with additional resources, particularly in biomedical research and pharmacology. But the disadvantage of the Embase is that they are available on the subscription, and without the subscription, there is no such big benefits. So most users gain access to this database through an academic library or in a paid subscription. Individual subscription is very difficult for a person. So obviously, as a student or as a researcher, as an academic person, we can have the access to our university library subscription or any other organization. This is the Sinhal, which is specifically made for the nursing as well as the allied health literature. And Sinhal, that means the cumulative index of nursing and allied health literature. It was developed in the 1956 to meet the needs of non-physician healthcare practitioners. It means the allied health, including the nurses, including the all other allied health professionals. Some journals of interest of nurses and other health may not be indexed in the midline, so they can be available at the Sinhal. Again, they may provide a means to gain access to these journals. In addition to the journals, Sinhal index books of interest to nurses and other health professionals and nursing dissertation. And this is a positive point, which means you don't have any only access to the journal and having to the dissertation and books as well. The Sinhal indexing terms are based on the MISH but provide for greater specificity and terms related to each profession represented in the index. The abilities that help professionals generally subscribe to Sinhal. It is also available online by subscription to individual users. This is the next, which is being second, and it is being managed by the American Psychological Institution. And these second, they provide very extensive coverage of journal in the psychology and related discipline as in occupational therapy. If someone is searching and someone conducting a study related to occupational therapy, the second, there must be basis for searching the literature. Related discipline as well as some books, chapters, dissertation, and various university and government reports. In occupational therapy, in their domain, in occupational therapists, they also work for the social activity, for the social interaction. So all these, they have some connection, some close connection and link with the psychology discipline. So that's why second, they can also use this database. And the information against the second, they can be available at the www.API, this is the American Psychological Institution.org. Second, most academic libraries and large employers with psychology services purchase an institutional subscription to Second, and searches are available through their web pages. Individual subscriptions are available as well. Among the rehabilitation props, Second is particularly useful for speech language pathology and audiology, as well as we discussed for the occupational therapy as well. Because speech, language, and addiction, they are considered topics in related to psychology. It's quite useful for rehabilitation in searching for generalized topics such as quality of life or cognitive changes with age. It may be less useful in finding rehabilitation literature that is medically oriented or for finding information about treatment that has no psychological correlation. It means it depends on the topic. What is our topic, and the basis of that topic, we can search the relevant databases. For example, a search on continuous passive motion without any modification yielded 15 results, whereas the same search answers are yielded as in Hall yielded 122, which means that in Sinhal, much of the continuous passive motion search studies are more available here in the Sinhal. This is the ERIC, Educational Resource Information Center. Again, Educational Resource Information Center is a large database of education-related documents and articles, and funded by the US Department of Education. It offers free database access to anyone at the www.eric.eed.gov. So, like PubMed, it can also be accessed through different interfaces available in academic libraries. Note that in addition to journal articles and other typical research literature, ERIC contains grant reports and other documents by researchers but without peer review. So it means if your topic is related to the education, related medical education, any other education psychology, or the education strategy, or education assessment, so any topic related to the education, you can have this databases known as the ERIC. This is the most commonly search engine, and almost every review study they would have the Google Scholar that is being managed by the Google, and Google Scholar indexes literature from a very broad array of literature. One of the best alternative right now nowadays to the Google Scholar is the Semantic Scholar. According to its website www.scholar.google.com, international international.en, that scholar about implementation. This is actually the website for the Google Scholar. Research can find peer-reviewed papers, theses, books, abstracts, and articles from academic publishers, professional societies, preprint repositories, and universities and other scholarly organizations. A helpful feature is that articles are ranked by relevance. Another relevant feature is its citation search capability. That is, it will find sources that cite in articles. Web of Science, WOS. Again, this is another database, or we can say search engine, and that indicates that the Web of Science consists of 7 databases containing information gathered from thousands of scholarly journals, book series, reports, conferences, and more. So this is actually a search engine, or we can say that a database of databases. Importantly, besides indexing citation in journal and books, the Web of Science also indexes citation from conference proceedings, but the limitation is that in most of the cases, they are only available, the abstracts are only available in such studies. Dissertation abstracts international, master thesis, and more often doctoral dissertation should be considered a fruitful source of publication for researchers. Specifically, they can be very helpful to the students if they are working on a similar topic, so they can have some guidance from the dissertation. Dissertation simply means thesis. For dissertation abstracts, international and now index virtual EURE dissertation written in the focused dissertation abstract international, and we will blackly find what you are looking for in the focused dissertation. And this is the screenshot of this website. We have the focused dissertation abstract international. Jahan pe we have focused dissertation and global. The largest single repository of graduate dissertation and thesis include 4 million works, grows by 130,000 each year. International scope deposit from universities and 88 it mean 88 मुल्कों की यूनिवर्सिटीज की स्टूडेंट्स की जो थीसिस है वो यहाँ पर आपको मिल जाए एंड 3000 इंस्टीट्यूशन जो है इन्होंने इसके एक्सेस हासिल किया है और तकरीबन 45,000 से ज़्यादा डाउनलोड्स एवरी मंथ जो है ये होती रहती है. It means that is a very good site, a very good source for finding the complete thesis. And the best part is यहाँ की जो thesis होती हैं ये year के लिहाज से जो है ये arrange होते हैं, so you can have the updated thesis as well. Cochrane Library, several references products not only inform the user of relevant sources but also provide commentary or rate the quality of articles to assist in assessing the potential value of the literature. And if this is the case in this situation, the Cochrane Library is probably the best known of these databases. So it is an electronic collection of evidence-based reviews of healthcare research. Each review uses a systemic search of literature on the topic with expert synthesis across the sources of information. Subscribers, including many medical and academic libraries, have access to a searchable database of reviews and links to the full text of reviews. In addition, relevant Cochrane reviews are indexed in the major bibliographic databases such as PubMed. Pedro, this is specifically made for the physical therapy and rehabilitation, which is simply known as the Physiotherapy Evidence Database. It is a product of the Center for Evidence-Based Physiotherapy based at the University of Sydney in Australia, and full free access to Pedro is available on the internet with this link. The database includes the clinical trial, systematic review, and critical net and physical therapy. और सबसे अच्छी बात यह है कि जब इसमें आप सर्च दे देते हैं तो ये सबसे पहले सिस्टमेटिक रिव्यू एंड मेटा एनालिसिस देंगे, उसके बाद जो है ये क्लिनिकल ट्रायल्स देंगे और बाकी से एग्जाम उसके बाद आ जाएंगे. इट मीन पेड्रो जो है ये जब आप सर्च दे देता है तो आपको रिसर्चेस जो है आपकी स्टडीज जो है अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट हायरार्की ऑफ द एविडेंस कि जो जिनकी सोर्स सबसे जो स्ट्रेंथ सबसे ज्यादा होती है वो सिस्टमेटिक रिव्यू एंड मेटा एनालिसिस होती हैं, तो उस टॉपिक से रिलेवेंट जो सिस्टमेटिक रिव्यू और मेटा एनालिसिस है वो पहले आएंगे लिस्ट पर, उसके बाद जो है फिर रेंडमाइज्ड कंट्रोल ट्रायल शुरू हो जाते हैं. कुछ ट्रायल ऐसे भी होते हैं जिनकी उन्होंने ऑलरेडी पेड्रो चिकले जिनकी 10 स्कोर होती हैं, वो इसकी स्कोर भी शामिल होती हैं, किसी इसका स्कोर 7 है, इसका स्कोर 8 है, इसके जितने स्कोर ज्यादा हो उसका उतनी इसकी क्वालिटी जो है अच्छी होगी. This is actually the simple search that Pedro's database. This is the advanced search where you can use which therapy you want to search, what is the problem, in which body part you're using, subdiscipline, what is the topic, method. So it means this will give you a very more specific search that will limit your search. This is the advanced search. That was the end of the literature search. And the next session, inshallah, we will do that how critically we can search the literature on the different databases. So we will take example of the PubMed, and then we will also have an example on the Google Scholar as well. Thank you so much to all of you.